Hallo und herzlich willkommen zusammen. Mein Name ist Janik und ich darf euch recht herzlich begrüßen zum HalfNattyPodcast. Heute die erste internationale Folge. Wir haben Alejandro Villagomez im Podcast zu Gast. Und da mein heutiger Gast aus Ecuador kommt und englisch- und spanischsprachig ist, werden wir jetzt direkt in Englisch weitermachen. Ich hoffe, ihr habt viel Spaß mit der Folge. Schön, dass ihr da seid. Hello, Hamza. What's up?
Hey, what's up, my bro? How are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Finishing some small training.
A little bit of training. You already
A
told
little.
me that you're fasting at the moment.
Yes, yes. I'm on my I think 33rd hour. So I gotta finish 48 and then I can finally get my first meal, man.
48 hours of fasting.
Yes, yes, yes.
Do
It's
you want to
tough.
tell the people why you're fasting? You're fasting
Because of
every week,
food.
right?
Yeah, usually I fast once a week. I do about 24 hours, but I think every 6 months I go crazy and I do 48, which is it's really tough, it's really, really challenging. But it's very, very good for like many things. You got a lot of things with like growth hormone. Your natural growth hormone spikes. Like up to 2,000% or something ridiculous like that. Your mental game just changes. You just become different. And it's the thing is that people nowadays they don't realize, bro, like that men are built to not eat all the time. Men are built like to hunt, and then from that hunt, like to be able to eat it all, and then they take a while after they have their next meal. It's not that they're snacking every 2 minutes. And that's why our bodies are like so intelligent. And when you fast, also like clinically, it's been proven that like your health just is like a reset of the body. You reset your body 100%. So it's just really interesting, this fasting period for me. I can play chess. I'm decent. I'm really decent at chess. I can play very good. And but when I'm fasted, bro, it's impossible that anyone beats me, man. I'm just like on a different mental level. It's insane. Like you have so many benefits, man. And also like sleep patterns are better. If you have like a greasy liver or if you have some heart issues, like everything will reset 100%. It's insane, man.
Yeah, I think you can do a lot with it. Also with digestive problems, people should fast one day, and a lot of
Yes,
problems
absolutely.
will be fixed. I have to tell you, I didn't try it already, but I have noticed that already when you do a diet and when you cut your calories, you are much sharper in your brain. When you do work, you can go
100.
to the deep focus and
Yes.
do some deep work.
It's
And
it's
it's
it's insane. It's really insane. Like people don't realize it. Like we're so fed up by like social media and also like meals, like how do you call this? Like brands, like feeding lines, like McDonald's, like TV commercials and stuff that they tell us always like you gotta be eating all the time. It's good for you. And then you got like obese people dying at like 40 from a heart attack. So like, and it's not only that, but also some fit people, you call them fit people that are like on the fitness world and stuff, and they're still like dying when they're young. Why is that? Or they have like gut problems, or they're bloated, or heart issues, or focus problems, so many things, and people don't realize it. That's why I fully, like, since I learned about fasting, and like I got deep into, because I fast once a year, always, because of my religion. But on top of that, like I didn't really go so deep in it. I just did it kind of for the religious part. But when I actually got to learn more about it, I was like, no, there's got to be more to it. So I started learning about fasting and water fasting, and like go for longer lengths and see what happens to your body. And when I saw the benefits, man, I was hooked. And I start feeling. I think it's after like I think I read this actually like a week ago or so, like after the 20th hour or so, your body produces it's called endo something. I forgot the exact name, and it's something that is like anti-inflammatory for your body. That's
Mhm.
why after you pass the 22 hours or so, you feel your body like completely relaxed, man. It's like after going to the pool, it's like you just feel no pain and no part of your body. You just feel like you want to sleep. You just feel cozy. It just feels amazing. It's insane. And I think now that I'm right now, I'm like 33 hours or so. You start feeling not hungry, like you don't feel hunger anymore. You just want to like just keep going with your day. You have so much more time to do things also. No time to eat. So
No
it's
time to
just
cook, no time to eat. Yeah.
Nothing, man. It's outstanding. You get to do whatever more. I try to focus my trainings though more than on power. Usually, I do more like endurance. During the fasting period, because when you do power, you usually need to feed your body. So I try to keep it under endurance. I do a little bit of power endurance, which is not really like carrying heavy weight. Usually I do those trainings in my feeding days. When I feel stronger. But in cardio wise, man, I just feel so like I never get tired when I'm fasting. It's insane. Like I can run for 3-4 times longer than normal. I don't feel lactic acid in my body. I feel insanely well. I cannot even explain like how good fasting is for some athletes. I think for every athlete.
It's crazy. I have to try. And because you talked about the evidence behind it, I think you have to try it on your own, and you can't talk about it if you didn't try it on your own. And you're an example for the praxis, and you can prove it.
Yes, absolutely. And what's also crazy, that many people are like worried. They're like, oh man, like shit, I'm gonna lose weight. No, I work so hard for my muscle gains, and if I fast, I'm gonna just lose weight. I'm like, dude, you have no idea what you're talking about. You become, there's this thing. You're an athlete as well, so you'll know what I'm gonna say. Like, there is an insulin resistance, in your body. So when you eat all the time, you're feeding all the time your body, like your insulin, you become insulin resistant. Like means your body doesn't want to take any more of the, of the shit you're putting in. So when you give it a break, all your insulin, like you become, I don't know how to say it, like your glucose, I think it's in your body, and your blood goes away because you're fasting for so long. So your body doesn't have nothing to feed on anymore. So you start producing like ketones, and those ketones, like you start going through this process of autophagy, and then your body doesn't rely on carbs or calories anymore, but on ketones, and that's the thing. And you become so much more like mentally resilient, that's insane. And the crazy part is that when you eat, man, like it's crazy. I weighed myself yesterday. I was 96 kilos. Yeah. And then before I started my fast. And then today in the morning, I weighed myself and I was 95 kilos, 0.3. So I only cut 0.8 because I am so packed with muscle because of fasting, because I have no fat anymore. Before, when I would fast, man, I would go 2, 3, 4 kilos down. Now I'm just packed with muscle, and I feel more bone dense. My bones are tougher than normal, of course, because of the growth hormone, you know what I mean? And when I eat, man, it's like all the stuff I eat just packs, and I gain like 2 kilos, 3 kilos in like one night. You know what I mean? It's because you become insulin sensitive. So your body takes it all in,
And everything goes into your muscle straight.
Exactly. It's insane. It's just, it's such a crazy process, man.
It's a really interesting topic. Before we go on, people don't know you. Would you like to give us a quick introduction? Who are you and what are you doing?
Well, I'm an Ecuadorian guy. I'm actually, as you know, my family is also, my mother's side, they're from the Kafkas region, from I don't know, Kafkas mountain parts where it's like where Turkey meets Georgia and the Kafkas, Chechnya, Dagestan, so all that area. And those people are into wrestling a lot. And so all my life I've been wrestling since I'm a little kid. I've been doing judo since I'm 5, and I changed to wrestling when I was 13. I went to study in the US, and I started doing wrestling, and I became a state champion. Then I actually got scholarships for wrestling. I started wrestling in the national team of Ecuador after, and I've been a national champion, I think like 10 times, 11 times, thank God. And now I'm also internationally recognized. I got medals all over the world. I got medals in World Opens and everything. So I'm an elite athlete, I would call myself, but I like to call myself more of a like warrior of life, because I don't really train for wrestling. I train to always be in shape, Yeah. Like many people just do their sport because it's their sport, but I just like to be in shape all the time. Whether I'm competing or not, I just always like to be sharp, So.
And when people would see your performance, we will link your Instagram profile in the show notes, and people will see you're a crazy muscular guy. You got a lot of strength, and you're fast as fuck.
Yeah, I try to keep it up. That's what I'm telling you. Like I seriously just try to evolve in every scenario. I have to don't want to be the strongest. I don't want to be the fastest. I want to be all of the above. You know what I mean? I want to be all of them in one. So, I mean, it's been a process, and I still think I got a lot to improve. But I think I'm in a place where, yeah, I could be considered most of those things. You know, I'm big. I'm like I told you, I'm around 95 kilos, and I'm not so tall. You know, you've seen me. I'm
smaller than me.
about
Yeah.
173, 174, which is not so tall for you guys, at least. I mean, for my country is all right, but for you guys, I'm not so tall. So, but I'm a big guy, and also I'm in lifting, I'm pretty strong, and endurance, I also have a good endurance and speed. You know, I try also to be very technical in my sport. I detail my sport. You know, I write it down. You know, to make the best out of it, to have the best technique, the best timing. So I work on everything. You know, like I said, I try to be a warrior. You know, not just a fighter.
Tell some people some numbers in the gym room. We got a lot of meatheads here, and you get them with the numbers.
Well, you know, I think if I would focus, there was a time when I was focusing only on lifting because I had an injury, so I couldn't wrestle. You know, so when that time I got my strongest because I was only doing weights. I couldn't even run. You know, so I was only doing weights, and you know that endurance is the opposite from strength. So if you have too much endurance, your strength actually goes down. It's just a normal process of our body. And if you have too much strength, your endurance is shit. So it's just like, it's always the opposite. You know, that's why if you get a runner to lift, he's going to break. And if you get a lifter to run, he's going to puke. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it's the complete opposite. That's why it's tough to keep both up. But in that time when I was only lifting, it was like, I think I would say like 5 years ago, I was only lifting, man. I got really strong. I was doing for not being a weightlifter, I was doing like bench press with you do kilos, yeah?
Yeah, kilos.
I was doing 190 kilos in bench press, which was crazy. I was doing 5 reps with 190, man. Like almost 200 kilos in bench pressing. I was doing squats with about 280 or 290, somewhere around there. I got deep squats without like only with the belt, you know, not with the knee things, with none of that shit, you know. I was just
Belt
like
only.
raw. Yes, complete belt because of my spine, you know, that's it. And then I was doing deadlift with around 310 without straps, no straps. My grip is my iron grip, man. That's my strength in wrestling. So no straps, you know.
Crazy.
I was really strong. Now I dropped a bit, of course, because I am working so much on my endurance, you know, for wrestling. And I'm not only focused on that, you know, I'm trying to focus on different things, explosive power, etc. You know. So especially endurance, man, because you know, fighting, you've been doing MMA these days, I've seen you, and you know that endurance is the hardest thing to keep up because you can be strong up to a minute. But if you got to keep that strength for like 6, 7, 10, 20 minutes, you know. So that's the problem. So I'm trying to work on that strength endurance, which is really tough, you know. So yeah, you know, the secret for me has been like trying to keep all up, you know, try to divide it in weeks and try to focus twice a week in pure power and twice a week in pure endurance, you know. And I in the technique and wrestling every day. So it's really tough, you know. I get my 6, 7, 8 hours a day of training, you know. So
Wrestling
it's really,
every day?
every day I wrestle, man. Absolutely, except weekends, of course, you know. Except
All right.
weekends, you know. But every day I wrestle and every day I lift differently. And then twice a week I work on bands like resistant bands. Every day I work on my breath works. I do a special type of breath work, like to improve my cardiovascular system and my overall like health, you know. I fast once a week. That's my regimen, and I eat basically only ancestral diet. That's who I am right now, and that's why I would say that I've got so much success, especially the last 2 years in everywhere I've been. You know, I've medaled every competition I've been in, many of them gold, and thank God, of course. And it's been a tough process, but I've got to experience with my own self so much. You know what I mean?
You
So
optimize everything. When we talk about it, you got the mental part, you work on your flexibility, you work on your breath, you work on your endurance, on your strength, and you're optimizing everything. And that's
exactly. It's absolutely completely
really
like
huge
that, yeah.
combination.
And it's tough, you know, to keep it up. It's
sure.
just so tough, man. It's so tough to keep every day doing the same. And you know, some days you wake up and your body's just aching everywhere, and you're like, oh, again, you know, again. And you know what I do usually every day when I'm on like on a camp or so? Every day I get up and I go in cold water. It's like a thing that I do every day. So I get up, go in cold water, and sometimes the temperature here is also cold, so it's kind of tough, you know. And I go in the cold water for 2-3 minutes straight, not getting out, and then it's like my recharge. You know, it's like I completely reload with that.
Ice
So yeah.
bath is a really potent thing, but you know what I hear about it? A lot of people and coaches talk about ice bath, and they say you have to periodize it because you get resistant to it. And when you do it, let's say 2 months on, 2 months off, 2 months on, 2 months off, it got a bigger potential.
Well, it could be. You know, I've been doing it every day, man. And for
Yeah.
me, it's not only the physical part. You know, that's what
mental
Brucey say.
mental part, yeah.
Yeah, it's the mental part, man. You gotta be for absolutely everything you do in this world, man. For everything, whether you want to be a businessman, where you want to be an athlete, where you want to be a stripper, whatever you want to be, man.
Yeah.
You gotta be tough. You gotta be mentally tough. If you don't have your brain in the right place, man, you can't lift heavier, you can't run faster, you cannot fight harder, you cannot swim faster, you cannot do any of that. So when you go in the freaking cold, man, for 2 minutes after you're cozy, warm in the bed, and you get up, you know, you get your ass up in there, you're gonna freeze, and your brain is gonna go in survival mode, and you're gonna be like, I'm dying, you know, I gotta live, and even your breath changes, you know, you
Yeah,
go in,
for sure.
so you realize that it's like survival mode. So for the mental part, man, because for the physical part, I've heard a lot of things also, like many people that lift, they tell me don't do it after training, don't go
Yeah,
in the water
not
because
immediately. Yeah.
yeah, you will not gain, like your gains will not get better. But for me, it's not only about that. Even though I've gotten gains, it's not. I've proven wrong. You know, I've proven them wrong. Uh, and then also like my recovery is faster. You know, I have to be recovered in less than 5 hours for the next training.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, I need to recover. And ice is the best friend of an athlete, man. Like completely the best friend. And not only icing it, but going in for like 2-3 minutes, man. Your body comes out red, your skin comes out red, and you're like, I'm ready for the next. You
It's
know, that's
crazy,
it.
yeah.
That's it. Yeah, it's just many people try to find excuses. Oh no, you gotta do 2 weeks, then 2 weeks. Nah, it's. I think it's all mental, man. You do it every day. I swear to God, nothing bad will happen to you. If you eat the right stuff, the right amount of protein, you'll get there. You know.
For sure, for sure. But when you want to use the whole potential, it could be a good option to periodize it.
Perhaps for especially if you like do bodybuilding, I guess maybe because you need to get more muscular. I would say, you know,
Yeah.
like but like I tell you before, like I think for fighting sports, man, it's perfect to do it every day.
It
Yeah.
it depends. You know, when you're ice bathing, you're totally right with building muscle. You have to be a little bit careful because you want the inflammation in your body
Yeah.
after your strength training. But when you're an combat sport athlete and you're training all day, you have to
Yes.
recover as fast as possible.
Yes, exactly, man. Exactly. And you gotta be resilient, man. And like, you know what's crazy about you the dopamine is also something that athletes don't. But the thing is, look, like I tell you, for competitive sports such as like fighting sports, you need more like motivation. I'd say like dopamine motivation. Like you need to. It's not easy to go face someone that's gonna kick your ass every day. You know, you need to get up and you need to be motivated to go up there and try to beat that guy. You know what I mean? It's different than when you go to the gym because I also go to the gym and I love it. You know, it's completely hard and it's completely tough to be like a bodybuilder and stuff. But I think fighting overall compared to other sports in general, you know, like even swimming, that is a really tough sport, I would say, or soccer or so. You're facing someone. It's like a direct
It's
fight.
different.
You know
It's
what I mean?
different.
Like, just think about it. Think about it. When you're in a soccer game, you fight someone. You're like, I'm gonna kick your ass. You know, but when you're actually in fighting and the guy kicks your ass, you can't say shit because he just kicked your ass. You know what I mean? You cannot say nothing to him.
Yeah.
So that's my point. You know, like in fighting, you're directly going to combat. Like there is no way around. It's not like, oh, I hit you, now we're angry. No, no, you're gonna go fight the guy, and you're gonna get pissed at him because he's beating you up or you're beating him up.
Yeah,
So you
for
need to
sure.
be like a freaking tiger. You know, you need to be sharp, and that's
Yeah.
something people don't realize. And I think ice, bro, for dopamine production and also fasting is something that has been my biggest weapon for being so sharp when I fight. Like I just want to take the guy's head off when I fight, you know, which is when I'm fed well or when I am showering in hot water. I just want to be home with my family, relax. You know, I have a complete different mindset. You know what I mean? It's how it is.
When we are in the part of mental toughness, tell the people about demon facing.
Yes, 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 yes. Oh man. Oh man, I got some crazy stories, some things I've done to face those freaking demons, man. You know, you gotta bring it up. You gotta bring it up. We gotta get there.
Yeah. Alejandro told me he's demon facing, and I was looking at him and told him, "What? You're facing demons? You know,
Yes, yes.
I got a wooden box at home. And once a month I go in there for 24 hours. For 24 hours. Yeah.
Yes.
You
And
told me
why?
the first time you was in there for 7 hours
7 hours, yeah, man.
was a
Couldn't
limit,
take it.
absolute limit.
It's nasty, man. It's you feel like you're dying. The thing is, what's people's biggest fear in the world, man? People don't say it, but people's biggest fear is death. You
Yeah.
know, it's death. And when you're in a freaking box, you're emulating that. You know, you're dying. You're literally dying. Like you start suffocating. You breathe less. You can't move because you're in something that's the same size as you, so you can't move no side. You cannot drink. You cannot actually even like in your bed. You move to the right. You move to the left. You fall asleep. You know, here you can't move. You have enough space to like stay there still. You know, the only way you're moving is if they open the box. So you start facing so much stuff in your head, man. Your head starts going into a crazy thought process. I think that's the best way of meditation. You know, many people, okay, you know, I always address this. Like people are like, oh, meditate and find mindfulness, and that's all shit, man. Like, listen to me. You find that when you're not in a stress situation. All those people that do meditation and stuff, it's with all the respect, they all deserve because I have many friends that do it and they love me, but they know that I'm really harsh when it comes to this because they're like people that have a normal like they're not facing really tough things. They have a normal life, so it's okay to go meditate because you're calm. If you're calm, it's easy to meditate. The problem is when you're facing hardship and you have to find mindfulness. You know what I'm saying? Like when you have a competition coming and you're like, oh crap, let's try to relax, and then you cannot think about that tree they tell you think about the mountains, think about the trees, think about the focus. You can't think of that. You're just thinking, oh God, what am I gonna do that day? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you get into the deep brain state when you're like, okay, I can't take this. That's when you gotta face those demons. That's the thing. Meditation, all stuff. Yes, I agree, it exists, but you gotta put yourself in tough situations that are tough for you. You know, so you can face them and actually either they beat you or you beat them. You know,
Yeah.
but you got to face them because if you don't face them, you're always running away from them. And that's how the world is, man. You know, you see nowadays, people are just so comfortable in their lives, man. You don't see really tough people out there anymore, you know? So that's why I always say, like, I don't want to, maybe I will not become the Olympic champion. Maybe I've beaten really tough guys in my life, or maybe I do, who knows, you know? But my point in life is to become that tough guy, you know? I want to be that tough guy that just can be like, you're always going to look at me and I was going to be like, oh God, he's coming back. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
for
my
sure.
point. You know, that guy you see and you're like, oh shit, there he is. You know, that guy.
You
And for
you
them,
already you already got it in Germany. People don't want to fight with you.
a
Oh
little bit.
no, Alejandro again. I don't want to.
Yes, yes. Again, this guy, that's not good.
Alejandro,
Yeah, man.
what are your plans for this year? Do you go to training camps this year?
Yeah, I was actually just in Peru training with one of my good friends. He was in the Olympics in Tokyo. He's a really tough wrestler, and so I was in camp with him training for 3 weeks. I just got back yesterday, so I actually had this traditional meal in Peru, which is delicious, man. It's called ceviche.
Mhm.
It's just insane. It's so good, and I had it, and then that was my last meal. That was Thursday night.
Uh-huh.
So that, until now, I haven't touched nothing. You know, I've only been having some water or sipping some coffee, like
We got Sunday evening, yeah.
yeah, but it feels good, you know. And this guy was like saw how tough, like how different I am now because I wrestled with him a few years back. But he's a decent amount of years older than me. He's I think
Uh-huh.
like 5 years older than me or so.
Mhm.
So he was already like Pan Am champ and like it's like the it's like saying European champion, you know, in Europe.
Pan
It's
America,
like
yeah.
yeah, he was tough, you know, and he beat me 4-2. This was like 7 years ago or so. And then we became friends. We started training, and of course, I've evolved so much more. You know, now I'm a different animal. You know, like in every way. So now when I was there wrestling with him, he's like, "Dang, I gotta get like you, man." And he was just in the Olympics. You know, so he tells me I have like a level to even win an Olympic medal. You know, he's like, "Man, you gotta do it. Like you gotta keep fighting." You know, and we were training for 3 weeks, and now he's coming to Ecuador next week to keep training with me, man, for the next month and a half because he's just he was just like, man, I want to be like that. I want to get that to that freaking point of like, especially the mental game. Like I tell you, like I overpower people mostly mentally, and I think there's a point when they're like just so scared to keep going. Like I feel it. I drain their souls, man. Like I see it. So I'm training with him like for the next month and a half. Is coming. We're preparing together for Pan American Championships. He's gonna wrestle
Do you
86.
compete there? Do you
Yeah,
compete?
we both go. Yeah, he goes for his country for Peru, and I go for Ecuador. We fight
All
in Argentina. So it's gonna be tough because it's the qualification for it's the first qualification I think for Olympic Games.
right.
So it's gonna be really tough, and you got Americans, which are the toughest, some of the toughest in the world. You got Cuba, which is also really tough. Canada, we'll see, But I'm excited. I'm excited to get to throw some people around. I'm really excited.
When are the Pan American Championships?
There, I think May 2nd or May 3rd,
All
and
right.
then after that, I'm going to I think Albania to a tournament called I think it's called Mohamed Malo. It's in Tirana in the capital. And then after that, I might go to a Iranian league, Iraqi league. I got hired for 4 fights for Iraq for a league, so I gotta go fight there. And then after that, I think I go back to Germany and I stay there like I did this last year and compete also for Ecuador internationally. And then I maybe go to World Championships, which is also Olympic qualifier. So, and I want to get my world medal. I want to get. I have 3 open world tournament medals, gold medals, but open worlds, which is not the same as a world medal. You know what I mean? So I want a world medal, like a real world medal, and then I'll be happy. I could die a happy man. Yeah, but that's a goal.
Sounds great. Sounds great. But who knows? Maybe we will also get a medal at the Olympics. Who knows? Who
Yes, yes.
knows?
That's the point. That's the main goal, man. That's the main goal. I want to do 2 more cycles. I want to do this cycle and the next Olympic cycle. And I think after that, I'll stay tough. Don't get me wrong. I'll stay tough. I'll still, maybe I keep fighting or so. I change to MMA or so. But I think for wrestling, and up to 2028, then I think that's it for
All right.
wrestling. And then maybe I'll fight for 5 years or so. I'll be young still. So I'll fight for 5 years or so. And then after that, I think I'll keep training. I'll train my kids, my like my son, my family, and also my students. I have great tough students, man. I got kids that are like animals, that are national champs and stuff. They're so tough. So yeah, that'll be my next step, I guess.
All right. All right.
I still got like 6-7 years, maybe more.
You already did one MMA fight, right?
Yes, I have one pro MMA fight. Yeah.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
Do you plan another one?
Yes, absolutely. This year I actually want to fight one more time pro.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want to fight next year maybe 2 because I want to keep building up a record. So if the Olympics doesn't work for the next 2 cycles, then I can switch to MMA,
All
and
right.
with a good record, and then I can already start just fighting. Either one's fine. Yeah. I'm excited for it, man.
Do you train striking time to time?
This is a crazy story. When I was little, my dad got me in all this fighting sports, man. Like I really never really had free time for nothing else. I was in school and I was in fighting sports. So I was supposed to be black belt in Taekwondo, but I didn't finish. So I have a red belt in Taekwondo, red black. It's half red, half black belt in Taekwondo. I just didn't finish because I was lazy and I didn't want to finish. I am a black belt in Judo too. And I did boxing with one of the best boxers in the country. He was in the Olympics also. He was a tough guy, and I boxed pretty decent. Like
All right. All
I've been
right.
fighting all my life, man. Basically, I've been fighting all my life. I trained Muay Thai with the Thailand guy here for some years. I was a national champion in kickboxing. So yeah, I've been fighting. Like the thing is,
All right. All right.
I haven't practiced it because I've been wrestling. I've been only
Yeah, for
wrestling.
sure.
But when I went to MMA, it was not a hard change for me because I knew how to fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not like in Germany that you get like in a street fight and maybe the police comes and stuff. Back here at home, man. Whether I've been here or in Russia, every time I've been in either place, I think I have more street fights, man, that I had wrestling matches. So
For sure.
yeah, man, you have no idea. People here are savages. And also, when I was living in Russia, same thing, man. People here are just savages. They just want to fight all the time, and there's no really cops that care about it. So you fight, you beat his ass, or he beats your ass, and that's it. You go, you go, you shake hands, you go. So yeah, man, it's not like fighting. It's been always with me, since I'm a child, since I've been 6. My first street fight was when I was like 6 or 7. So yeah. it's different mentality, you know. It's different. It's just different.
You will be tested, but the Germans are a little bit weaker in this part.
They're just there at home. They
He
have a
touched.
good. They have a
He
good.
touched me. He touched me.
They're actually because like if you like no one calls the cops because of that, because they're afraid to be called wussies for the rest of their life. So no one, if you get in a fight, even your wife will tell you, hey, why are you calling the cops? Like, leave your phone, go fight, be a man, you know. You know what I mean? Like, it's so different, you know.
It's
It's so
totally different. Germans are different, yeah.
I think you guys have become like that, because if you really talk about Germans before, you guys were known for being so freaking tough, you know, all around. And you have it, you know, like you have it in you, you know. Like I talked to like Nadine, you know, my wife, and she's so tough. Like she becomes so tough because like I really think she's been with me. She's so tough, man. She's just so tough. Like she would fight in the street with no problem. She would punch someone in the face. Like before, when she came for the first time, she was so soft and lovely. She's always been soft and lovely, you know. She's a great wife. She's the best wife in the world. Like God couldn't have blessed me more, man. Like definitely 100%, you know. Uh, but she was always so soft and nice and kind, you know, and being with me for so long, you know. It was like when I would get in a fight, you know, it was the funniest thing. I would get in a fight the first time, she would be like crying, like, no, don't fight, you know. And now when like I get in a fight, I haven't in a long time, but
Environment changes. Environment changes a lot.
okay, just don't take too long, okay? Just go, but don't take too long. Just fight fast. You know, when back
Come back fast, please.
we gotta go eat, you know, like it's so
I'm hungry, man.
exactly. So
Alejandro, we got a lot of strength athletes here and a lot of bodybuilders. And that's why I want to ask you, how does your strength training program look like?
so first of all, hi with all the bodybuilders and powerlifters. No, I'm a big fan. You know, I think it's so tough to. I don't think I could do it because like I really love to eat, man. You know, I really love to eat what I want to eat when I want to eat. That's also why I work out so tough. You know, but also thank God wrestling, man. Wrestling helps me like lose weight, because if not, I would be really fat. I would really be fat, man. I would really be a fat kid. So I'm glad for wrestling. Thank God. But I'm a fan. You know, my dad was actually an Olympic lifter. He was a really tough Olympic lifter. He did, I don't know how you call it in Germany, but uh, how you call this? Oh, like in Olympic lifting, snatch and clean and jerk. I don't know how you call those lifts. Like I think that the guy, yeah.
Reißen und stoßen.
Okay, that's what he did. Yeah, exactly. So he was a champion in that. Then he had some injury and he started doing powerlifting. You know, and he was also a beast in powerlifting, man. Like he could live with me up to like 5 years ago. Now he's 60. He's kind of relaxed. He doesn't take it serious anymore. He's, you know, he's not into that in life anymore, you know. But up to when he was like 50, 55, man, the guy was like, he would train with guys that were like my age, you know, and beat them. Like, he was a tough old guy, you know. So I've always respected powerlifting a lot, especially powerlifting. And also, you know, I grew up watching a lot of movies of Arnold and freaking, you know. So I was like, I started getting into bodybuilding, and I enjoy having a decent body and training, because it's badass. You know, you want to look good. Also, you know, it's
sure.
part of a man's ego. You want to look good. You know, it's normal. It's absolutely normal. You know, but yeah, I think I couldn't do it. I don't think I could. It's too tough for me, dieting and all the posing and stuff. They even get cramps when they pose, man. I've seen that. No. It's a tough sport. I completely respect it. I have a lot of respect for powerlifting and bodybuilding. But talking about strength, I would say the plans can have maybe are a little different with them. I mean, you have the same basis, I would say. You know, you have the base of deadlift, squats, and bench, which is pure power. You need to do that. Like, you absolutely need to do that. You know, there's no running around it. There's no changing exercise. You need to do that if you want to be strong. You know, so I work on my strength, but I do a lot of strength plus strength endurance. I do not only go for strength. So my strength plan, when I do strength, I do, let's say I go for how's it called? I go for deadlifts, yeah. So what I do, deadlift heavy, I build it up first, yeah, without any circuit or nothing. I just build it up until I'm at my max, yeah. When I get to my max, what like up to 3 reps, 5 reps, yeah. What I do is I start a circuit, yeah. So I go for I get there, and then I have the circuit ready to go, and I do 3 sets of 4 sets in total. But what I do is I do like deadlift, I deadlift 3 times, and then straight after that, I go for pull-ups. I go for 10 pull-ups, then after that, I go for rows with 60, 70 kilos. I do 10 rows, then I go for inverted rows, 10 more. Then after that, I go for cleans, power cleans. And I do 10 power cleans. And after that, I go for, what's the other one? With the machine, row with hold, it? Like, and you hold it,
Cable row, yeah.
And then, yes, and after that, I go for resistant bands, wrestling bands, and I do pulls for like 1 minute straight. So that's 1 round. And I go for that for 3 rounds, 4 rounds, 5 rounds, So I'm working on my power completely, plus my power endurance. You know what I mean? So that's what actually helped me evolve a lot in wrestling, because when I was doing a lot of power, I would get my body would get really stiff, for moving. Like I didn't have the same movement, I would say, and also I was getting tired easier. Now by doing this, I'm able to have more power, even because actually my lifts have gone up a lot, and I'm actually able to keep it up for 6 minutes, which is insane. To keep the same power for 6 minutes on a fight it's ridiculous, So I do the same with benching, with squats. With squats, let's say I do heavy, I build it up to heavy, and when I'm at heavy, I do the same, like 4 or 5 reps with, I don't know, 210, 220 kilos, plus jumps with weight, jump with weight, and then I do jumps without weight, and then I do isometric work all together. And that's 1 round. I do 5 rounds, sometimes 6 rounds, depends on the program, So, and same with bench press, I do the same. It's the same, that's on power. So because of a different sport I do, because if a power lifter does that, he doesn't have any need for that. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Any need for, so he would just go for the power part, which makes full sense. You even rest longer and it's fine. I need to shorten the rest. I need to have like 20-second rest tops in between. So it's a different, I would say it's a different kind of plan, to it.
The goal is different, and you need to train specific for your goal. But that's your strength endurance workout, or that's your strength workout?
Look, the only difference that I have between them both is that when I do strength, I do less rounds. I do only three rounds, 3 big rounds, and I do less exercises. So let's say I do deadlift, and I do like pull-ups and rows. That's it.
All right.
And when I do endurance, I do deadlifts, but I do light deadlift 10 times, and I add all the exercises I told you. You know what I'm saying?
All right,
and I do more rounds. I do 5, 6, 7 rounds. So it changes, of course, because you cannot destroy the body like that,
Yeah.
But when it's power, I still add up 2 more exercises at least, because I need that edge.
Yeah.
So
Really interesting. Really interesting.
Yeah, I learned it from a Russian guy, because it's like the guy told me, like, what are you? He came to me pissed off. He's like, what are you, a lifter or a wrestler? I was like, a wrestler. It's like, okay, then you got to train like a wrestler. And then because I was doing only heavy stuff, and I wasn't improving my wrestling. It was ironic. I was getting stronger, but not in for wrestling, which was not okay, because, it's different strength, we have
not specific enough. Yeah,
exactly. So I was like, I need to find the edge. And then when this guy gave me the plan, man, I was hooked. I was like, I've never been stronger. I've never been so resilient and so like different, just the body's different. The strength is different, Yeah, so it works out.
All right. When you have to choose 2 exercises for lower body push, lower body pull, upper body push, upper body pull, 2 exercises each, which one would you like to choose? First one, pull, lower body. Deadlift?
Yeah, deadlift, 100%. 100%.
Another Absolutely. One, do you do kettlebell swings or hyper extensions or anything like that?
Say cleans, does that count as pull? Yeah, that counts as pull.
Yeah.
I'll take power cleans, man. Power cleans are just freaking savage, man. Those will kill you, man. Like if you get there heavy, you're an animal, because you're doing your whole body, man. You're pulling all the way up,
and it's explosive. Yeah, you build a lot of speed.
Yeah, man. You explosive power. You just become like in the car, the thing, I don't know how you call it, like you just become like so powerful, it's insane, man. So that I would say for pulling. For pushing, definitely squat, definitely 100%. There's nothing better than heavy squat, man. Like it's just like there's nothing better than a medium steak, It's the same thing, man. There's nothing better, absolutely nothing better, bro. Yeah. You go deep in those squats, you're gonna be tougher. You're just like gonna have a crazy core foundation. Your legs are gonna be strong, and also explosive. I also like for mobility. I always recommend to do jumps after, just because it doesn't leave like lethargic. It doesn't leave you slow and strong, but it leaves you fast, which is what absolutely every man should have. Because you are big and strong, you get in a street fight and some little guy outruns you, or punches you and runs away. Like you can't move fast enough. So it's always necessary for our like physique, for our men's physique, I guess. And other exercise, like I said, I would do heavy jumps for push, heavy jumps. So like not heavy, but like you put 60 kilos and you jump. So it's light, heavy, but it's still with weighted jumps. Let's call it like that.
With a barbell on your back?
Yes, usually for me, I do the barbell in my like the stairs squat. I do the barbell here, the jumps. But for me, because it's specific to my sport,
circle jumps.
Yes.
Not bad.
I do it one-legged, bro. I do it with one leg only, with the other leg in a seat.
Crazy.
Yeah. Like I always go to that point. I need stability, power. I need everything, and that's the best exercise for all of it together. So that's what I would do for pushes. I would do those for push. And if in case you don't like jumping, I would do the Bulgarian squat. Yeah, called
Bulgarian split squat. Yeah.
Yeah, I would do that one. That one on the back with the barbell in the back if it's comfortable, and I would do that one because that will also build a huge power in the butt, in the butt and in the leg. It's insane, man. It's
Definitely
the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the upper body pull-ups, definitely for pulling. There's nothing better than pull-ups, and I wouldn't say heavy pull-ups because I was going crazy at a time that I told you I was lifting only, and I got injured really bad in wrestling. Because of that, because I was doing heavy pull-ups, and then I started getting tendonitis in this part of my elbow. My wrist started to feel sore all the time because I was only doing heavy pull-ups, So not only, but mostly. So I decided to just go for pull-ups, and for the other exercise I love, and I think it's the best for actual strength. It's a rows, like barbell rows,
Yeah.
There's absolutely nothing better than that. And that heavy, you can go heavy as F there, You can put like, I go up to 150 kilos and I do 3-4 reps, and I mix it with pull-ups. Those two for pulling, there's absolutely nothing better, man. For like functional real strength, I'm saying,
And you also work with holds on pull exercises, right?
Always. Every time I work, like let's say I do 10 pull-ups and I do 5. The next 5 I do holding, or I do one fast, one with hold, one fast, one with hold, So that, pull-ups are just because you're managing your own weight, and if you're getting heavier, you're also going to get stronger if you pull more weight up.
For sure, yeah.
You need to learn that's something I didn't learn until a few years ago. You need to learn to control your own weight. You need to be able to pick your way up easy without struggle, So, yeah, man. So I think that for pull-ups, 100%, and for pulling, I mean, and rows. Yeah, just barbell raw rows, like no
Basic.
machine. Yeah, basic. And for pushing, definitely bench press, man. Like there's nothing else. 2 exercises that are actually my favorite and that I keep them up always is bench press and military press. Military press is
the basics. The basics.
And I'm telling you that I've experienced a lot of different exercises with a lot of different coaches and different systems and absolutely everything. The best thing that has always worked for me is what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Like this is just pure basic training and is the best for building strength, like real strength. If you have to pick that, I would pick all that, like only that every day, every day, all day, man.
Did you already tried pull-ups with rings?
Yes, I do them. Like when I mean pull-ups, what I do is usually I do about 100 in a day, sometimes 50, and I do usually rings. I do twice a week, only ring pull-ups because it's more stability completely. You told me to do them, remember? And I started doing it. You told me to do it, so I kept it in my plan. I never changed it. I do different pull-ups all the time, But I do pull-ups anytime.
Ring pull-ups are great for your elbow because it can work with more freedom.
Yes, exactly. It doesn't get stuck, It's way better. I do it. I do twice a week ring pull-ups, and the other 3 times a week I do normal pull-ups, but also change. Instead of like this grip, I do this grip, or I do lighter grip. It just changes. But
variation.
Pull-up, you still pull yourself up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
really nice.
Yeah.
What I wanted to mention, guys want to look muscular, and some specific muscles that make you look muscular is your neck
Yeah.
and your
Yeah.
traps. And
Absolutely.
when you look the most wrestlers, you see
Yeah.
they got a really, really big neck and they look damn muscular. And when I show you a picture of Alejandro, he got so damn thick traps. That's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah. I think that's one of my biggest muscles. I think my neck, my traps, and my forearms is the muscles that I have the biggest. I look like Popeye. You know Popeye, the guy that eats.
For sure, for sure.
It's funny because like compared to my arm, I don't have small arms,
Yeah.
but I think compared to my arm, my forearm is bigger. It's like if you compare the size, the forearm is bigger. Like of course the arm's a little bigger, but meaning like it's not symmetric. It's like the forearm should be smaller. But in my case, yes, it's smaller, but it's almost the same size. So it looks a lot bigger. I look like a truck driver. So
Bro, it doesn't surprise me if you mention you pull 310 kilogram without straps.
yeah, no straps for me, bro. I hate that. I need the thing is for wrestling, you need hand grip, and if you don't have a hand grip, I'm just lying to myself to grab that much weight because that means I could not pick that without the straps.
Yeah.
And what if the car gets stuck somewhere and I cannot move it because my straps? Hey, wife, where's my straps? I need my straps. I need to pick up the car. No, I need to pick up the freaking car with my bare hands. So I always left them outside. I think if not, I would probably pick up more weight back then. One of the guys is like, you should try, just see how much you do. I was like, no, I'm gonna go without it.
South
So,
America problems. You have to
yes,
know how to pick your car up.
yes, definitely, man, definitely. Oh man, here it happens. Here it happens once in a while. The car gets stuck in some stream. You're like, oh crap. I grabbed one. Like I'm with some wrestlers sometimes or so, and some car gets stuck. We just get out like 3, 4 guys and just pick it up and move it.
Mm-hmm.
Because we can do it between 3 or 4 wrestlers. It's not really an issue. So, but because they're so tough, and it's funny because the guys that they see us, they're like, we don't look so buff, but like you said, it's just the traps, the necks, and the forearms. They just pick up the car, and the guys are like, but they're not even that big. Yeah, they're strong. These guys are real raw. They got real raw strength. So, but I'd say for the traps, bro, like workout for the traps, it's crazy, but there's so many things. I would say always like when you deadlift or when you do a lot, especially cleans, man. When you do a lot of cleans, will build up they will build up your traps like an animal, bro. They will definitely build up your traps and your neck because you're picking up from the bottom to the neck, literally to the neck. So all your back contracts, and gets up. You feel your neck working out when you do that. And what I would recommend people that want a bigger neck is definitely to do bridges. To just do bridges on a mat. Get a little mat, a yoga mat or anything, and go for bridges. Look it up. Do some bridges. Your neck will get twice the size. That's for sure, man. And also strong. Movable. Like you will have because have you seen? There's so many bodybuilders that are huge and they have necks like my wife. And you're like, what happened there? You know what I mean? You're like, what happened there? Like that shouldn't be like that.
And Alejandro is not talking about bridges with hands. He's talking about
No.
bridges with your head on the floor.
Yes, of course. Only neck, like only
Yeah,
head.
of course. People don't know that. People don't know that, man.
You're right. I'm sorry, guys. But I think that, there's this machine that you put around this thing you put around and hold up weight. But that's shit, man. That really doesn't build up neck strength. Like many people use it, but it doesn't really. Yeah, because it's just one move. You need to go to the sides. You need to, in the bridge, you can actually do those things. You can go to one side, you can go to the other side, and the muscle will get like 2 columns. Like it will get thicker on the neck and the back. When you only do the pull-up thing, it's just like if you do, I don't know, only biceps and no tricep. You know what I mean? You'll have a huge bicep and no tricep.
Yeah, you need different directions.
Yeah. Exactly. The neck needs to move in different ways, so it gets overall thick. And plus, I tell you, cleans for the traps, man. And also for believe it or not, if you do like over 20 cleans, your forearms will burn. Your forearms will burn.
I believe you for sure.
It's all for it, man.
And I'm also sure that wrestling on its own builds your neck like crazy and your traps like crazy. I've noticed from the 2 to 3 months of grappling, my traps are growing.
Yes. No, definitely combat. Like I would say, grappling sports. All of the grappling sports, especially wrestling.
Yeah, for sure.
They build crazy grip, crazy neck, and meaning neck, I mean all the neck and around, including the traps. Because someone's grabbing onto your head trying to put you under. So you have to keep your head up, wandering around.
Yeah.
So yeah, it will build your neck for sure. Fighting will build up your neck, and also it will be harder to knock you out when you have a bigger neck. So for those that like to fight,
you have to. I was the first time at Muay Thai training in Bavaria, and the coach, don't get me wrong, but he don't look like a strong dude, right? And he gets me to the Muay Thai clinch. Fuck you, man! He was pulling me under the whole time. This was crazy.
You feel like you can't do nothing about it. It's insane. You're like, oh, yeah. It's different. These guys are doing it like their muscles are like their bodies, their muscles are built for that. It's what we do every day. So, but of course, do not ever. I always tell this to my guys. I'm like, do not put weights aside. Like weights are the breakfast of every fighter. Like you need to lift if you want to be stronger, more resilient, and tougher, just overall tougher. You need to put on weight on your body. You need to put on strength. You need to lift heavy. There's no going around it. You're not going to get stronger by running. You're not. You're definitely not. You're not going to get stronger just by wrestling. No, you're not. You need to lift. But when you do them together, bro, it's just something else. You just overpower everyone. It's just different. Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. It can be a huge combination. Really powerful combination.
Yes, completely. Absolutely.
Perfect, Alejandro. Thank you very, very much for your time. At this moment, you can claim some of your sponsors if you want. We will link your Instagram profile in the show notes and say thank you to your supporters.
Yeah, thank you. To absolutely everyone. Everyone's gonna be watching this video. Don't think I'm a caveman. I mean, I also like to eat an ice cream once in a while. But I just give always the best advices for everyone. So they try to keep up and always don't think there's an easy way to get better. If you want to get muscle, you got to lift years and tough. You got to eat well. You got to do tough things. You cannot. There's no easy way to that to get better in anything in life. The way to get better in life is always to play tough. So be tough. Become that animal. Also be a civilized animal. That's what I always say. Be a civilized animal, so you can talk to people. But also when you're, I don't know, hitting the gym, running a marathon, or fighting in wrestling, or fighting MMA, just become that savage beast. So that's my advice to everyone. And stay hungry. Meaning literally, stay hungry. Keep fasting. Keep your fasts up. And yes, and have faith that everything will turn out good, my bro. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to you, man. It's been nice talking to you. Nice seeing you. And
Perfect.
We stay in touch.
It was an honor for me. I hope we will see us this year in Germany, and I think we will do a session together. Maybe a wrestling session. Maybe you can show me some tricks.
For sure. Yes, for sure, bro. 100%.
Perfect. I wish you a nice weekend.
Same to you, bro. Take care.
See you the next time. Bye-bye.
Bro.